New York City Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani may be angling to bring socialism to the Big Apple, but not so fast. His campaign promise for free buses has already hit the brakes, and he's now finally realizing the importance of collaborating with the White House, vowing to reach out to President Trump before taking office. And the ultimate dealmaker will no doubt have a bit of a reality check for the radical rookie. As businesses flee the Big Apple post-election, including Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy, who's weighing moving his company out of New York City. Dave joins me now to talk all about it. Dave, welcome back to the show. Listen, Mamdani's officially going to be the next mayor of New York City, as horrific as that is. You have said that you can't stand the thought of that. Talk about why this is the time you have finally considered potentially moving Barstool Sports out of New York City.
Yeah, and I should clarify, I don't live in New York City anymore. I moved out during COVID and stayed down in Florida, so I don't personally live there. I am a capitalist by nature. I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I think it's good to value hard work and the desire to become rich. All that I think is very American qualities that I value. So I think he's the opposite of that. And he doesn't believe in any of those things. I did say I would consider it. I also said in the same breath, we have about 350 employees, and I don't know how the employees in my office vote. Some of them for sure could have voted for Mamdani. So I wouldn't move it because I feel bad for people in our company who have chosen where they live and what they want to do based on where our office is. So just because of how I personally feel, not yet. I won't move it. Something drastic would have to happen. And to be honest, I'm curious, as you started this this segment, what can he actually do? What oversight is there? How much can the mayor of New York actually accomplish without collaboration? And I don't know. I'll wait and see. But a lot of the plans he says he wanted to do, I don't know if he'll be able to enact.
Yeah, well, and a lot of this comes down to a business decision, right? We know that if things do start to get bad, Dave, then, you know, the people who can leave and the businesses who can leave will actually do that. There is another factor, though, that is afoot. You know, we've watched in horror as anti-Semitism has seemed to kind of spread across this country over the past several years. One of kind of the centers of that has been New York City. People are wondering where things are going on this front, but I want everybody to take a look because you, Dave, just had an experience with a run-in with anti-Semitism yourself. Watch this.
With come in the camera, buddy.
So, Dave, what happened in this clip that we just watched there? And I think a lot of people are wondering, how did we get to this point in America, and how do we get back to a place of civility? Because this is crazy.
Yeah, so I was doing a pizza review in Mississippi, and a kid came up, F the Jews, threw a bunch of coins at me. So that just happened the other day, recently. You know, I've given it a lot of thought, and I think there's a variety of factors how we've gotten here. People aren't putting their foot down. It starts at colleges. People are getting away with basically threatening and intimidation and hate speech, and is for somehow being I don't know if protected is the word, but it's not being condemned the way it should. It's basically was allowed on college campuses and throughout. And then the internet is a cesspool. Like, social media has allowed what I would think faceless names who in the past, you know, live in a corner of their own lives and they're not normal people, have all kind of, I guess, been able to express themselves online. And there's a couple hate people out there, a couple sites. They all kind of follow these people, and it's a place for them to meet, and it grows and grows online. I will say what I find out in this Mississippi pizza review, the actual people in public were mortified. That was super uplifting. Like, it wasn't like a bunch of people were like, yeah, this kid's right. Everybody was screaming at that kid. Everybody apologized to me all weekend. I didn't want apologies. I want outrage that this is happening. But, you know, I get it every single day on whether it's X or Instagram or whatever, DMs. You know what all these people have in common? They cover their face. They're not real people. And it's hard not to pay attention to it, but this new social media, really plays a huge factor in, they can kind of validate themselves. Like, in the past, where did these people go? You didn't do out in public. They had nobody to talk to, but it's almost like they're forming these little groups online, and it's an echo chamber where they think it's okay. So it's nuts. I mean, you look at this kid who threw this at me, which I knew there was a GoFundMe for him. So on November 11th, I worked super closely with Tunnel for Towers. So I'm raising money for veterans, our heroes, first responders. I'm going to Tunnel Towers event December 5th in New York City. I'm going to present them a check, minimum $1 million. These people are raising money for that kid. It's like, just shows you how stupid. Imagine living in this country and being like, I'm going to donate to this jerk instead of donating to like veterans. It's just, that's how stupid people are and how out of whack people are. Like, there's actually a GoFundMe, and unfortunately I knew it. I said, this kid will have a GoFundMe and they'll raise some money, and there's people making their living on hate, basically online, and there's a lot of people out there who don't like their lives, don't like what they're doing, and it's a reason for them to get up in the morning just to hate for no reason at all.
Yeah, you're right. All these people do have in common, Dave. They like to hide behind a screen. Believe me, we know all about that. We've all experienced something similar. But when it comes to anti-Semitism, look, there's peace in the Middle East, right? Thank you, President Trump, for that. Do you feel like this is a time where you should see politicians like the Mamdanis of the world, who at one time said things like globalize the Intifada? Is this a time when we should see them stand up and put their foot down and say, enough is enough, we have to stop this hate, we have to stop this anti-Semitism?
Yeah, 100%. And a guy like Mamdani will say one thing and then do the other. Like, he will say, like, we want everybody to be safe in the city, but then some of his actions don't seem to follow it up. Like, why can't you say, you know, it's bad to say globalize the Intifada? Why can't you say it's bad? Like, people are praising Hamas. There's people wearing masks and all this street. Condemn them loudly and say there's no place for it. This is the United States. Instead, he kind of, you know, he goes back and forth on it. And he has a long history. With Mamdani, one of my things, I pay attention to what you do in the long run, not just when you're running for mayor. I'm from Boston. The Boston Marathon bombings happened when I was there. You go back, he was one of the first people to actually ask whether the police read the Miranda rights correctly to the terrorists when they were found in a boat. Is that really your first thought 5 minutes in? Like, to me, it shouldn't be. And it's consistent. His dad said he thinks suicide bombings is basically a way to get something accomplished. It's just one thing after another, and it goes all the way with Hamas, where I feel like his first reaction to October 7th wasn't necessarily sympathy. It's to start attacking Israel after a terrorist attack. So all those things add up and make me, yeah, you can say I want everyone to be safe, but your actions throughout time, to me, tell a very different story, and maybe your words don't, like, you know, own or match up with what you say now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, Dave, time will tell, right? We're all paying attention. We're all hoping for the best, but I think bracing for the worst in New York. And we really appreciate you always staying on top of things and speaking your mind and being honest. And thank you for sharing some thoughts with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.